In this video, we'll be solving a question, and this question is from February-March 2021, in which you guys have to make an income statement. And here, basically, you have this income statement format that all the students know, and in that format, we have a cost of sales section. So there's revenue, then you have to subtract sales returns, and then you have a less cost of sales section. जो cost of sales की heading होती है उसके अंदर you have a whole formula for cost of sales. So it starts with opening inventory, you add purchases, you add carriage inwards, you subtract purchases, returns, you subtract drawings of goods. उसका जो answer आता है, then you subtract closing inventory from that, and you get cost of sales. However, in the income statement of a service business, वो सारी मेहनत आपको करनी नहीं है. That's a good part about the income statement of a service business, because cost of sales section is not there. Because you need to understand this, that in a service based business, there will be no inventory that is sold. Services are provided. So like the doctor's clinic, तो डॉक्टर की क्लिनिक पे अगर हम जाते हैं तो वहाँ पे वी आर नॉट एंडिंग अप विद एक्चुअली टेकिंग अ प्रोडक्ट टू आवर homes. We'll just take a service, avail a service, and get a diagnosis from a doctor, and then we'll go back. So the doctor will still charge us some fee. So that is the revenue for the doctor. And then, of course, because they have a clinic, they'll pay rent, they'll pay salaries to the employees to maintain the clinic, to operate the clinic, and they'll have other expenses as well. So here in this question, Zamir is in business providing legal services. Zamir provided the following balances from his books of accounts at 31st December 2020. So point to note here, we are doing accounting for 2020. So it's starting from January 2020 to December 2020. And then they have given you a list of balances. तो उसमें fee income है, rent and rates है, salaries, stationery and advertising, electricity, bank charges. Then we have cost of office equipment, depreciation, proceeds of disposal of office equipment. So during the year they're actually disposing of an office equipment. So this is important because it's related. We have adjustments. Just in the additional information, we have adjustments related to disposal here. Then we have a bank overdraft, which is a current liability. We have trade receivables, we have capital, and we have drawings. तो यहाँ पे इन्होंने आपको information दी हुई है यहाँ पे, और इस information में सबसे पहले so my way of solving this question is to completely solve the information first, because these additional information contains adjustments. तो अगर हम income statement directly शुरू कर देंगे तो we might as well lose out on any of these additional information. उसको incorporate करने के लिए lose out हो जाएगा. सही है. So we don't start right away, we just solve the adjustments first. So here they're saying the annual rent is 16,000. On 31st December 2020, rent was paid to cover the period from 1st January to 31st March 2021. So your period is still 31st December 2020. लेकिन इन्होंने जो rent pay किया है, they have paid from 1st January to 31st March 2021 में इन्होंने basically December में ये payment की for the next 3 months. So the next 3 months are not in your period that you are making income statement for. Hence, it is a prepayment. ठीक है. It's a prepayment for 3 months. So simply आप 3 months का prepaid कैसे निकालेंगे? आप 3 divided by 12 करेंगे, and annual rate is 16 and annual rent is 16,000. So that gives you 4,000 as prepaid. ठीक है. It is as simple as that. You just have to see what period are you doing. Are you making the income statement for? So if you're making the income statement for 31st December 2020, so उसके बाद वाला जो कि हमारे 2020 के पार्ट नहीं है, उसके आगे वाला जितना भी पेमेंट कर दिया हमने, that is all payment in advance. Then they are saying there was no accrual or prepayment of rent at 1st January 2020, which means that there are no opening prepaid, or there is no opening accrual. So that's okay. They're just given that to you so that you feel a bit confused, but you don't have to be confused about it. 4,000 को जो है वो हम यहाँ से रेंट में से माइनस कर देंगे, रेंट एंड रेट्स में से, बिकॉज 4,000 प्रीपेड है, और प्रीपेड हमेशा माइनस होता है. व्हेन यू विल टेक दिस टू द इनकम स्टेटमेंट, यू विल हैव टू सब्ट्रैक्ट 4,000 फ्रॉम 26,000. then they are talking about rates. तो रेंट एंड रेट्स को क्लब करके इन्होंने लिखा हुआ है यहाँ, लेकिन यहाँ पे रेट्स के बारे में वो लोग कह रहे हैं कि 6,000 जो है they were paid during the year 31st December 2020. This payment covered the period from 1st January to 31st October 2020 only. So this payment was for these 10 months. Now they're saying from 1st November 2020 annual rates were 7560 and they haven't paid anything for November and December. So starting from November, December and then till next October इनका जो annual rates होंगे वो 7560 होंगे, लेकिन हमारे दो months जो हैं वो हमारे इस पीरियड में फॉल कर रहे हैं नवंबर एंड दिसंबर 2020, जिसके लिए हमने रेट्स पे नहीं किए हैं. तो इसलिए हमें बेसिकली वी हैवंट पेड रेट्स फॉर 2 months. So 2 divided by 12 multiplied by 7560 will give you 1260 rates for 2 months which you haven't paid. ठीक है, and 1260 जो होगा वो हमारा अक्रूड है, इसलिए अक्रूड को हमेशा हम ऐड करते हैं. सो ओइंग इज़ एडेड, प्रीपेड इज सब्ट्रैक्टेड. द रीज़न बीइंग प्रीपेड जो है वो नेक्स्ट ईयर का है और जो हमने अभी से पे कर दिया, सो इट शुड नॉट बी पार्ट ऑफ द एक्सपेंस सेक्शन ऑफ आवर इनकम स्टेटमेंट. ओइंग जो है वो इस ईयर का जो हमने नहीं पे किया, सो इट शुड बी एज एन एक्सपेंस बिकॉज वी हैव यूज्ड द सर्विस ऑन 31st December 2020. Depreciation is to be charged on office equipment at 15% per annum using the straight line method. No depreciation is charged in the year of disposal. So they are telling you because they have disposed of an office equipment here. So in February 2020, office equipment was sold for $1,000. This equipment had been purchased for $1,800 on 1st January 2018. So 2018 में ख़रीदिए, फिर 19 में इस्तेमाल किए, फिर 20 में इसको हम सेल करें 2020 में. And we are selling it for $1,000. So this is the selling price of the non-current asset. And then they are telling you that इसकी ये जो ओरिजिनली हमने ख़रीदी थी उसकी कॉस्ट प्राइस है $1,800, the original cost of the asset. The sales proceeds have been debited to the bank account and credited to the proceeds of disposal of office equipment account. तो इसका मतलब they have just done one entry, that is बैंक डेबिट डिस्पोजल क्रेडिट. डिस्पोजल की 4 जर्नल एंट्रीज होती हैं टोटल में. सो दे हैवंट सब्ट्रैक्टेड दिस ऑफिस इक्विपमेंट from the cost of office equipment. So basically we should do minus 1,800 here because this equipment is not part of our business anymore. Secondly हमने इस equipment को depreciate किया होगा. So यहाँ basically 1,800. So 2018 में हमने इसको 1,800 multiplied by we have depreciated it 1,800 multiplied by 15%. So we'll say 15%, and that will be 270 for 2018. For 2019 we again did 1,800 multiplied by 15% और हमारा आंसर आया 270. तो इसका मतलब हमने इसको 2 साल के लिए डिप्रिशिएट किया है. तो इसका टोटल हो जाएगा accumulated depreciation on the asset that we have disposed, it will be $540. So यहाँ पे basically $540 also should not be part of this provision for depreciation, because when we'll make the statement of financial position का एक section they are asking you to make in one of the part C or B, part B or C. तो उसमें आपको जो है ना you're supposed to remove this accumulated depreciation because this asset is not part of your business anymore. So of course, because whenever we are selling off an asset there is a profit or loss on disposal, तो हमने net book value हमेशा net book value को compare करना है selling price से to calculate profit or loss on disposal. So here like net book value for this case would be 1,800 minus 540, which will be 1,260. So basically हमारी नेट बुक वैल्यू है 1,260. अब 1,260 और हमें पैसे मिले हैं 1,000. तो इसका मतलब हमने एस्टिमेट किया था हमें 1,260 मिलने चाहिए थे, हमें मिले 1,000. दैट मीन्स we have a loss on disposal, that is $260, and loss on disposal is also an expense. And here again depreciation on the remaining office equipment हम कैसे calculate करेंगे? Simply we'll do 60,000. So we had cost of office equipment at the start of the year as 60,000. इसमें से हमने 1,800 वाली minus करनी है because ये this is not part of our business anymore, and year of disposal में we are not depreciating the asset that we have disposed of. तो इनको माइनस करने के बाद हम will be left with 58,200, and this will be depreciated by 15%. So your answer will be 8,730. Okay, so 8,730 is your depreciation for the current year for the remaining non-current assets. that is office equipment in this case. So we've solved almost everything. So the fifth adjustment tells me that I have to write off a debt as irrecoverable क्योंकि one of Zamir's clients has become bankrupt. The client owed a 1885, which means कि 1885 the client had to give 1885 to Zamir. However, Zamir जो है वो he's not expecting to recover this amount because that person has become bankrupt, तो फिर वो पैसे नहीं दे सकता. So that goes to the irrecoverable debts account. So we'll actually make an expense for irrecoverable debts, and that will be 1885. And then when we are making the asset section of the statement of financial position, we have to remove 1885 from trade receivables because this is not our trade receivable anymore. Part A of this question, we'll be making an income statement, and like I told you guys before that there will be no cost of sales section, so we just start with fee income. So he'll be right, fee income is basically what we are receiving from clients in the form of income. So 151,750 from the trial balance. We'll just take it like this. Then we don't have the cost of sales section, so we'll just write less expenses. We don't have any incomes, any other incomes. अगर other incomes rent receivable होती, for example rent receivable या फिर commission receivable, in that case you could add that as an income. लेकिन expenses section यहाँ पे आएगा. And then we have rent and rates. So सबसे पहले rent and rates, और उसमें हम adjustments पूरी कर चुके हैं. In the exam, it is always advised to actually write your calculation in the bracket. So like I'll write it for rent and rates. 4,000 minus kiye, add 1260. You should be showing calculations somewhere in the paper, because the examiner should know कि आप जो है वो कैसे, how did you reach to that value. Then we have salaries, that is 55,000, no adjustments. So यहाँ पे आप लिख देंगे salaries and you'll just write 55,000. Stationery and advertising, 6 okay, so stationery and advertising and 6450. डायरेक्टली कॉपी कर लेंगे. इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, उस पर भी कोई एडजस्टमेंट नहीं है, वहाँ पे भी हमें डायरेक्टली कॉपी करना है. इलेक्ट्रिसिटी यहाँ पे है हमारे पास 8,000 इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है, तो इसको 8,000 एज इट इज़ डायरेक्ट लिख देंगे. देन वी हैव बैंक चार्जेस, सो नो एडजस्टमेंट ऑन बैंक चार्जेस, विल राइट जस्ट बैंक चार्जेस and we will write 4,100 on bank charges as bank charges. Then we have depreciation, हम calculate कर चुके हैं, so we'll write depreciation, office equipment, और वो हमने calculate किया था 8,730. we'll write loss on disposal of office equipment, so loss on disposal, and we calculated that to be 260. तो यहाँ पे हमने somewhere I showed you guys the calculation. And then we have one other expense that's called irrecoverable debts. तो irrecoverable debts को भी हम यहाँ पे लिख देंगे, ये हो जाएगा 1885. तो जब हम इसको टोटल करेंगे तो हमारा आंसर इसका आएगा 107,685, और इसको जब हम फ़ी इनकम से माइनस करेंगे, बिकॉज दिस इज एन एक्सपेंस, सो प्रॉफिट कैलकुलेट करने के लिए ऑलवेज डू रेवेन्यूज माइनस एक्सपेंसेस. सो इन दिस केस 151,750 minus 107, 685 will give me 44,065. that will be my answer for my profit for the year. मैं यहाँ पे लिख दूँगी profit for the year. In the next part, they're asking me to make the assets section of the statement of financial position. You guys know asset section has two major like two types. One is non-current assets and the other is current assets. तो हम यहाँ लिखेंगे non-current assets and we have non-current assets, that is office equipment. And I told you guys already that हमारी जो ऑफिस इक्विपमेंट की कॉस्ट थी उसमें से हमें 1800 माइनस करना पड़ेगा बिकॉज इट्स नॉट पार्ट ऑफ आवर बिजनेस एनी मोर. सो व्हेन वी हैव 3 columns, you just name it cost, accumulated depreciation एंड नेट बुक वैल्यू. तो यहाँ पे आप लिखेंगे ऑफिस इक्विपमेंट की कॉस्ट लिखेंगे 58,200, बेसिकली 60,000 माइनस 1,800. अक्यूमुलेटेड डेप्रिसिएशन जो होगी सबसे पहले आप 540 माइनस कर देंगे बिकॉज दैट डेप्रिसिएशन इज़ नॉट पार्ट ऑफ योर बिजनेस एनी मोर. सो 22,500 माइनस 540 उसको माइनस कर दिया एंड देन यू ऐड 8730. तो 8730 ऐड करेंगे तो हमारी इसकी अक्यूमुलेटेड डेप्रिसिएशन की वैल्यू आ जाएगी 30690. सो राइट 30690 एंड देन cost minus accumulated depreciation will give me 27,510. That is the net book value. Yes, so then we just have to make the asset section. So non-current assets and current assets. तो यहाँ पे करंट एसेट्स हमारे पास इन्वेंट्री नहीं है तो इन्वेंट्री लेनी ज़रूरी नहीं है. नो क्लोजिंग इन्वेंट्री. वी डू हैव ट्रेड रिसीवेबल्स of which you have to subtract 1885 because they are not going to recover. So you'll simply do हम करेंगे ट्रेड रिसीवेबल में से. So we'll just write trade receivables and we'll write 18,000, basically 15,600 minus 1885. इसको जब हम सब्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे तो हमारी वैल्यू आ जाएगी 13,715. उसके बाद हमारे पास अदर रिसीवेबल्स में आएगा प्रीपेड, बेसिकली प्रीपेड रेंट. सो दिस इज़ ऑल्सो कॉल्ड अदर रिसीवेबल. यू कैन राइट प्रीपेड रेंट एज वेल, दैट्स नॉट एन इशू. 4,000 ये हो जाएगा एंड देन दिस विल बी this total, or basically your total current assets will be 17,715. Then you'll add 27,510, that is the net book value of office equipment, plus 17,715, which will give me 45,225. This is the total assets. In the next part, they're asking you, theoretically suggest 2 possible reasons why Zamir required a bank overdraft. You can say because उसकी level of drawings बहुत ज़्यादा हैं इसलिए उसको drawings ज़्यादा करनी थी, उसको इस वजह से उसने बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट लिया है. दूसरा, maybe trade receivables are paying later, so they are delaying in payment, so that is why उसको cash flow problems हो रहे हैं इसी वजह से, इसलिए उसको बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट लेना पड़ा. या फिर cash flow improve करने के लिए उसने बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट लिया. बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट बेसिकली एज यू गाइस नो ऑलरेडी कि जो बैंक में बैलेंस होता है उससे ज़्यादा आप अगर और ड्रॉ कर लें तो दैट्स कॉल्ड ओवरड्राफ्ट. सो बैंक में बैलेंस जितना भी उससे ज़्यादा क्यों कोई विड्रॉ करेगा, टू इम्प्रूव कैश फ्लो और द ट्रेड रिसीवेबल्स आर पेइंग लेटर. सो दैट इज़ वाई दैट टेक्स so they are taking longer to pay. So in the next part, that is part D and the last part of the question, this is for 5 marks. They're saying that Zamir का एक employee है, उसका नाम शरीफ है. So Zamir employs Sharif, who is another lawyer. Sharif also keeps the books of accounts for the business. Zamir would like to ensure that Sharif does not leave to start work for rival legal business. तो इसलिए वो ये सोच रहा है कि या तो उसकी वो सैलरी बढ़ा दे या फिर उसको एज अ पार्टनर एडमिट कर ले. सो दे आर आस्किंग यू टू राइट जस्टिफाई और बेसिकली यू हैव टू रिकमेंड कि वो क्या करे. लेकिन आपको 2 एडवांटेजेस देने और 2 एडवांटेजेस ऑफ ऑफरिंग Sharif to be a partner, and another is 2 advantages of increasing the salary. So if वो सैलरी बढ़ाता है तो फिर उसको एक एडवांटेज ही होगा. जो सोल ट्रेडर्स के एडवांटेजेस हैं वो आपको लिखने हैं बेसिकली कि ही कैन कीप ऑल द प्रॉफिट्स टू हिमसेल्फ एंड ही डज नॉट हैव टू ask for the advice of Sharif again and again, so he can make all the decisions himself. So ownership जो है वो फिर भी ज़मीर की रहेगी, शरीफ की नहीं होगी. And he will also not go to the rival firms. Also अगर sole trader ही रहेगा तो disagreements नहीं होंगी. He doesn't have to discuss important decisions. If he admits him as a partner, Sharif will bring capital. That's an advantage. They can expand the business because अब उनके पास ज़्यादा finance होगा as compared to Zamir being alone. Then in matters of decision they can take each other's opinion and then take a decision. So that's a good thing. Also both of them will bring their skills. Losses will be shared, responsibilities will be shared. So in these type of questions आप कोई भी दो लिखें, explain करें अच्छी तरीके से, and just give the recommendations that what do you think is better for better course of action in this case. So you guys don't have to write a proper conclusion, a very long conclusion explaining your decision. You just give the advice and that's about it.